Yo, what is cracking everybody, and welcome back to the channel with Exhausted. As you saw in the previous video, the engine's out, the transmission's out, and we've got a fairly empty engine bay. So what we need to do now, I've ordered a couple of little bits so we can start doing this. Just little bits like mouse sanding pads, a new drill because mine broke, just so I can use a wire brush, you know, neaten up everything before we go ahead and do all the filling and prep for the paint. So that's coming, but before that comes, that's going to hopefully come tomorrow. Ordered it on Amazon Prime, so bang on. But obviously we can't start work on it because there's still stuff in the bay, like I mentioned in the previous video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to basically clear this out as much as physically possible. Take out everything we possibly can. Some things may need to stay, like the brake part is going to be quite difficult to work out how to do. But you know, we might even be able to take that all out, to be honest. I mean, they're just the hard lines. We could always just drain the brakes and just do new hard lines when everything's done. I'm not sure how much that would cost. What I'll do, actually, after I film this, I'm going to look it up and see how much hard lines cost, because it will get a much better finish if I can completely clear it out. And I don't suppose hard lines cost that much. And even so, I could just make some hard lines. You can just buy the actual line, and it'll be 10 times cheaper than buying the actual whole piece, and I can just bend it into place. That's not difficult at all. So yeah, what we'll do is I'm going to quickly look that up and then we'll crack on in the engine bay. Also guys, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on the notification bell so you're automatically updated whenever the latest video comes out. But without no further ado, let's crack on. For fuck's sake, man, we've got fuel leaking, just dripping down. I mean, it's been sitting for like 2 days now, so I presume if it was leaking when we pulled the engine, it would have all drained by now. But it's leaking from 2 places. I've also got this kind of frozen, I guess it's fuel. I didn't know fuel could freeze, but yeah, I've got that all over one of the fuel lines, but not on the other. And it's all leaking from the bottom one. So I'm not too sure exactly why it's leaking, to be honest. I'm gonna have to sort it out. I really hope that's not a broken hard line, otherwise that's gonna be an absolute ball ache to replace. Fuck man, so annoying that we've got this fuel leak. Every time I'm going in there to try to work on the car, I'm just getting a gnarly fucking headache, man. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to leave it for the time being. Come back in a couple of hours and see if that dripping stopped. I mean, I don't see how it can be leaking so much. Like, I've got an idea, actually. Let's take the fuel filler cap off and relieve some pressure in the system. See if that makes any difference, but I don't see, like, it's not exactly pumping fuel up to there. It's been leaking for quite some time now, so that fuel cap's fucking tight. Hold on, lads. It seems to be slowing down now. Well, yeah, it's definitely dripping slower than it was. The only thing which I fail to understand is, wait, let me put the camera and I'll tell you. Yeah, like I was saying, the only thing I fail to understand is how it's been dripping for so long, because, like I was saying before, the fuel's not being pumped up through there. The fuel's all sitting in the bottom of the tank. And I mean, yeah, it could be dripping from here, but it's not like it's going to be rising. The fuel would just, you know, whatever was left in these lines would be dripping down. I do not have the slightest clue what this could be. Yeah, to be honest, I can't put 2 and 2 together. As you guys know, I'm nowhere near a qualified mechanic. Never had any experience. I'm just an idiot with a camera who enjoys working on his car. But yeah, it must have stopped. Well, that's solved the issue at least. We can come back to it at a later date. Once everything's out of the car, I'll inspect those wires very, very carefully to ensure that they're not broken. The only logical thing I could think it would be is that whatever that frozen stuff is, it must be fuel all over the lines. Maybe that's melting, but it's been dripping for so long, I don't see there being that much to drip out from that frozen bit. So yeah, I'm quite puzzled at the moment, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, anyway, hopefully that solved the issue for the time being. We can come back to that at a later date. I really hope, like I said before, that that's not a bad line, because that goes all the way back to, well, that one goes all the way back to the tank, so yeah, it's going to be a ball ache. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly run, get some tools, and we're going to start stripping this back as much as we can. So what we'll do is we'll catch up once it's been stripped down a bit more. All I'm going to get is something to cut the little zip ties between the wires. Then we can move all of those out of the way and put them all the way to the back. And yeah, a couple of sockets just to move bits out of the way. So I'll insert a time lapse here of me stripping that down. As you saw in that previous clip, the right side of the engine bay is pretty much done. All we've got to do is push those wires through those wires right there through the firewall. So that side's done. I'm going to need 2 people to do that because I'm going to need one person to feed it through because there's loads of chunky bits, and someone inside to pull it all the way through as well because it's quite difficult. I've tried pushing it through myself and it's not happening. But I'm going to leave that section as the back. So I'm going to do, if I show, well, let me flip the camera and I'll explain. So I'm dividing the engine bay up. So the right side is going to be from this bit to the right. The back is anything along the back wall. And the left side is from this bit to the left. So the right side, as of now, is done. The back side will be really easy. It's just a matter of having 2 people to do that. So we'll probably do that on the day when we start sanding the bay down, because that will make life easier. Just like little things like undoing that downpipe down there. I should be able to crawl through there hopefully and just undo those 2 bolts, but we'll have to wait and see. And now what we need to do is start working on the right hand side. Yes lads, it is sick to sit in your engine bay. It actually feels awesome. But anyway, enough of me fucking about. Basically, this side is also completely done. All it needs doing now is the exact same like on the other side. All those wires need to be pulled through into the interior for the paint obviously, and then it will be pulled back through just so it's not in the way and we can get the best sort of coverage. So this side's pretty much done. I am going to most likely take out that brake booster, the clutch master cylinder, everything like that, just because we're going to get a much nicer finish doing it that way. So I'm going to crack on with that, but first of all I'm going to go get a bite to eat because I am absolutely starving. So yeah, it's looking a lot more empty in here, but we'll catch up after lunch. I've had lunch, it was absolutely pucker, had a nice bit of quiche and some vegetables, but yeah, enough of that. Like I said before, we've pretty much done with this engine bay. We've only got to do the rear section now, which is the brakes, so the brake booster and the master cylinder, the clutch master cylinder, and remove those brake lines. And once that's all removed, it'll be really straightforward to just route the wires back through the firewall. And yeah, once that's done, it's just a matter of unbolting the downpipe and we're all good to go. But I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. Now, hear me out. Reason being is, well, number one, I can't do the brake booster and the master cylinder and all that shebang without bringing the car out of the driveway and jacking it up, because obviously I need to drain the brake fluid and the clutch fluid. So yeah, that's first reason being I'm going to have to take the brake lines off of the brakes as well. What I was thinking is, since we're doing all this work on the front, would it be worth completely taking off the front subframe, all of the wishbones, everything like that, so completely strip down the front end and rebuild all of that as well? That's what I'm thinking. Just since I've got all this space and access to it, that might be the smart thing to do. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. What should I do with that? But I'm pretty sure that's going to be the best port of call. Only thing I don't know how to do is take out the steering rack, but I think we'll be good with that. So yeah, let me know what you think we should do that and that side of things. I just think it'll be good that we can kind of powder coat all of those, replace the bushings. I even want to upgrade some destroy or die wishbones and all of that sort of stuff. Just really can't get my words out. Just really neaten up the suspension at the front, and then I won't need to worry about the front end of the car for years to come. And then slowly after the next show season, when I'm doing the little bits for more power, which is just going to be little straightforward bits like bolt-ons, almost like turbo, new intake manifold, everything like that. Once we get to the end of next season and we can start working on the car, then I can do the whole rear end and really focus on that, because obviously I'm going to have to do the transmission upgrade as well to hold more power when we go for stage 3, which is just going to be basically cranking up the boost on the engine, because it will just destroy the transmission if I do that right now, or if I do that when it's built. So yeah, I can do the whole rear end then and underside, make sure there's no rust, and the car will be bulletproof for the foreseeable future, 20-30 years. I won't need to worry about it apart from the regular maintenance, like under seals, that lot. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. I think I'm going to do it, but only problem I'm seeing is, will it be done for show season? Because I've missed quite a lot of last show season. I don't want to miss so much of this one. So let me know what you think, but I guess at the end of the day, if it's done for like halfway through the season, it's not the end of the world, I guess. I'd rather have the car bang on how I like it so I can enjoy it. So let me know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the video there. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.